I'm Sean.
I'm Rhonda.
We're excited to be with you today to talk about how to deal better with conflict in your marriage relationship.
So, what do you do when conflict happens? Because we know it happens to all of us,
It
but we're all
does.
going to respond differently. So, let's talk about that.
Sometimes when conflict happens, we've got kind of a knee-jerk reaction of how we're either going to face it positively, which we'd call being a peacemaker, or we're going to have an escape or attack mentality. Let's look at what a peace breaker is. This is someone that's more in the attack mode, and they are looking at the conflict of this is a contest to win, and let's see who's going to win this argument.
But the thing is, in a marriage, if anybody loses, we both lose.
Right.
And so it's important that we can find a way to come to union because we always say he plus she equals we. If it's too much he or too much she, it can be a he minus she or a she minus he. If one person is invisible, it's not a marriage relationship, it's not a union.
Right.
And so if we're fighting to win, we've probably silenced the other person's contribution.
Right. So this is kind of where the verbal attacks and that fighting mentality, I think, comes in, and maybe we're trying to manipulate our partner into seeing things, my way. And if you only saw it my way, we wouldn't be having this conflict. That's a totally wrong way of looking at it.
And so they may be looking more at getting my way is more important to me than the relationship. Now that you might never say that, but if you look a little bit deeper, what are you fighting for? Are you fighting for relationship or for getting your way at the expense of the relationship? Because let's face it, if we're aggressive verbally and emotionally, we're going to push away the other person.
Right.
It's just going to be the way they respond. So you might have the dynamics where you're both peace breakers or you're both peace fakers or you've got one of each. And so certainly when someone is aggressive, they almost set up the other person to either attack back or withdraw. And so to have balance in the ability to discuss issues, if you're a peace breaker, you've got to really tone that down.
And value the relationship over the conflict. And so many times, one thing I've noticed is that so many times maybe as a male, a person can get more focused on fixing the problem than on maintaining the relationship.
Right. And so if you're married to a peace breaker, what would you do? If your spouse is aggressive, again, like we said to the one that's the peace faker, the one that might kind of withdraw and disconnect, this person needs to be able to say, I believe I could talk to you a little better if you were not quite so intense. Could you reduce the intensity for me? Or I feel like this is turning into a monologue and there's so many issues on the table. I'm just having trouble talking about any of them. Could we pick one?
Right. If a person is responding in a defensive way, the other spouse could ask, what is it that's making you feel defensive? Why is it you feel like attacking right now?